I never planned to steal anyone's spotlight. I was just 9 months pregnant, and my baby decided to arrive earlier than expected. We came to the venue early, helping with seating, flowers, little details. I smiled, though my legs were swollen, and my back ached. My mother-in-law floated around the hall like a conductor, giving out instructions. "Lena, please, just don't sit in the middle of the photo zone," she whispered with that strained smile. "Today is my daughter's day." I nodded. She loved repeating it, our day, our stage. I didn't want conflict. I just wanted to survive the evening and go home, hugging my husband and the baby inside me. The first contraction came quietly, like a mosquito bite, barely noticeable, but real. I froze, caught my breath, gripped the back of a chair. A few minutes later came the second one, deeper, sharper. "You look pale," my husband said, rushing over. "I'm probably just tired," I whispered. "It just hurts a little." The third contraction bent me over. The world narrowed to a pinhole I was being pulled through. "I think this is it," I said. My water could break any moment. My husband panicked but kept it together. "We're leaving. Hospital. Now." We headed for the exit, but my mother-in-law blocked the way. "Where are you going?" she asked sweetly. "Lena's in labor," my husband said. "We have to go." "No. At least wait until the cake and first dance. The hospital is nearby. You'll ruin the ceremony." I felt it burst inside me, warm fluid running down my legs. My water broke. I looked at my dress, and at her eyes. No fear, no concern. Just fury. "You'll steal my daughter's spotlight." She grabbed my arm, tighter than caring should be. "Come with me," she hissed. "Fix yourself up. Someone will bring towels. Just, no scenes." She dragged me into a small restroom near the kitchen. Cold tiles, muffled clatter of dishes. Then, a click. The lock. She had locked the door from the outside. "Rest. It'll pass in a few minutes. I'll send someone, after the newlyweds walk out." "Open the door." I slammed my palm against it. "I'm in pain." "Quiet," she said. "Don't steal the attention. This is not your day." Another contraction slammed into me like a wave in a dark sea. I slid down the wall onto the floor, gasping, breathing in broken bursts, inhale, exhale, pause. I pounded again. I could hear music. Laughter. Toasts. And then, my own cries, drowned out by applause. Time blurred. It was cold on the floor. Sweat rolled down my spine. I scraped my nails against the door, counted the intervals between pain, and prayed my husband would understand. That he'd find me. That someone, anyone, would hear. Between contractions came thoughts, sharp as glass. I am not a decoration. I am not a threat to their perfect photos. I am a woman giving birth to their grandchild. At some point, it got quiet. Too quiet. The music seemed to stop, and I sank into black water with no bottom. The last thing I remember, hurried footsteps, my husband shouting my name, the crash of the door breaking, and darkness. When I opened my eyes, everything was white. Antiseptic in the air, monitors beeping. My throat dry. And a tiny cry beside me, the most beautiful sound in the world. "You're in the hospital," the nurse said. "You're safe. The baby is breathing fine, your vitals are stable. You made it just in time." In time. The words cut deep. Because before that in time I had been locked in a restroom so I wouldn't ruin the photos. My husband sat beside me, holding my hand. His eyes were red. "I'm sorry. I was looking for you. They told me you were in the restroom." The door was locked. I had to break it down with the manager. "You'd already passed out." I closed my eyes, feeling a cold fury rise. "Where is she?" I whispered. My mother-in-law came the next day, with flowers, chocolates, and a face that didn't know remorse. "You must understand," she began evenly. "A daughter's wedding happens once in a lifetime. I didn't want a scene. I thought you were just tired." Things got awkward. Awkward. That's what she called my labor. My screams behind a locked door. Our child, who might not have survived her timing. "You locked me in." I didn't know it was that serious." "You didn't want to know. Because your daughter needed the perfect photos." She reached for the crib. My hand stopped her instinctively. "No. First, an apology. Not a polite phrase. A real one. And then we'll decide how and when you can see our son." She blinked, lost, searching for support from my husband. But he stood beside me, silent, firm. "Mom," he said. "You crossed a line. This isn't about awkwardness. This is about the safety of my family." She muttered something about emotions and stress, left the flowers on the table, and walked out. Quietly, without looking back. The room was still again. Just us three, me, my husband, and our wrinkled, warm, perfect baby. That night, I stared out the window at the city lights. Thinking how strange life is, you plan for celebrations, dress in your best, but the real moments, raw, painful, terrifyingly true, come in a cramped room with cold tiles. And there, in the dark, you meet yourself, strong, angry, unbreakable. The kind of self who will never again agree to be a backdrop in someone else's story. The next day, we signed a hospital report, not out of revenge, but out of respect for ourselves. To mark the line for everyone to see. We didn't forbid her from being a grandmother. But we learned to say no, the word we should have said only once, and never swallowed again. When we finally came home, I laid my son on my chest and whispered. "I'm sorry the world wanted you to wait until someone cut the cake. You have the right to come when it's your time. And I will always open the door for you." This time, the key was ours.